So we're first of all going to start off with looking at the 2 or 3 kind of main types of systems. So we've got 2 main types which we mostly look at, which is our open systems and our closed systems. And then we have a third type which we look at, which is isolated systems. And so mainly in this course, you want to be focusing on the open and closed systems. The isolated systems are less of a consideration. But essentially what they are is, so the open system means that there is enabled to be an exchange of energy in the form of heat and matter with the environment. A closed system is going to mean that you can only exchange energy with the environment. So there's no exchange of matter. And then finally, an isolated system, that does not allow the exchange of heat or matter with the environment. So it's very closed off in its own separate environment. So it's also really important to remember the open and closed systems are going to be your main ones. But isolated systems, they're just kind of there so that you can understand that there is a difference between an isolated system and a closed system, in that there's not that exchange of energy with the environment. It's all fully closed off. And so if we look into the open and closed systems a bit better, we can see that an example of an open system is something that is, for example, like a cup without a lid. So both energy and matter can exit and enter the system because there's no lid on the system, so hence it's got a free exchange with the external environment. However, if we're then to contrast this with a closed system, we can see with the closed system, if we were to now put a lid on that cup, it's considered a closed system. And this is because heat is still able to escape from this system. It's not fully and entirely insulated, but no matter can leave or enter because there's a lid now on this container. And then finally, just to compare this with the isolated systems. So the isolated systems, they're going to be harder to identify because honestly, no system will be truly isolated, but a thermos would be an example of something that you could consider to be like an isolated system because you're closing off the exchange of heat with the environment, and then also the matter within that container cannot leave or be exchanged with the environment. So that's something we consider to be as close as possible to a fully isolated system.